Minecraft has a lot of rare mobs, but which one is the rarest? I've sorted all the rare mobs, starting with the most common ones and ending with the most insane mobs you've ever seen. First on the list is this skeleton. Most skeletons hold their bow in the right hand, but Mojang wanted to be clever, so they made 11% of all skeletons spawn left-handed, which is actually based in reality, because roughly 11% of all people are left-handed. It just feels wrong seeing a skeleton hold the bow like that. Striders have a really cool feature. There is a 10% chance that a second strider spawns on top of the first one, resulting in a double strider. It would be sick if riding it was twice as fast. However, that's not the case. The double strider is definitely hard to come by, but we're just getting started. Sometimes during the battle, you'll notice other zombies joining in. This is because you're fighting a leader zombie. 5% of all zombies spawn as leaders and have the ability to call reinforcements. But don't worry, there is a way around this. Just change the difficulty, because leader zombies only spawn on hard. Anyone can find a normal panda. There is nothing special about it. The real deal is the brown panda, who only has a 2.04% chance to spawn. Goats also have a rare member. It's called the screaming goat, and only about 2% of all goats have this trait. You can't really tell the difference visually. However, if you listen, you might notice the sounds it makes. Be careful, because screaming goats love ramming things. During the night, spiders can spawn with one of these effects: speed, strength, regen, or invisibility. There is roughly a 1.5% chance that an invisible spider will spawn, which is definitely the most scary one out of the four. Fortunately, you can at least see the spider's eyes. 20% of foxes spawn with an item in their mouth, but only 5% of the time it's an emerald. That makes the odds of an emerald fox spawning just 1%. Finding this mob would be extremely lucky, but this is still nothing compared to the mobs later in the list. Remember the double strider? Well, actually, the 1 in 10 chance applies for every strider, meaning, in theory, you could find an infinitely tall strider, although your name would have to be Dream. 1 in 8 eggs will spawn a chicken, but we're not interested in that. We're looking for the rarest possible egg, which has a 0.39% chance of spawning 4 baby chickens. But Dadusak, how can 4 chickens fit into a single egg? Look, don't ask me, I'm not a biology teacher. All I know is that 1 in 256 eggs will be the chosen one. The most famous rare mob has to be the pink sheep. The chance of it spawning is 0.16%. Not only is the pink sheep quite rare, but it also clearly stands out among the other colors. This was especially true in the early Pocket Edition, where pink sheep looked like this. Baby piglins and baby hoglins love each other. Sometimes the baby piglins ride on top of a baby hoglin. However, in this case, there is a hard limit of 3. So if you manage to find this mob, quickly take a screenshot before the baby piglins run away. There is a reason why the skeleton horse is rare. First, you have to wait for a thunderstorm. Then, you need the lightning to strike. But not every lightning summons a skeleton trap. Actually, the vast majority of them don't. Once you finally find it, you still have to defeat the 4 horsemen, and only then you can enjoy this unique mob. Similarly to sheep, axolotls spawn in different colors. Pink, brown, cyan, and yellow make up more than 99.9% of all axolotls. That leaves us with the blue axolotl, which adds up the remaining 0.08%. That's why I'm always carrying 2 buckets on me, one to clutch with and the other just in case I find it. If you ever find a chicken in the middle of the ocean, you've just found one of the rarest mobs in Minecraft. Let me explain. A drowned only has a 5% chance to spawn as a baby. Then the game checks for nearby chickens, but since we're in the ocean, there aren't any. That means there's another 0.25% chance that the baby drowned will spawn a new chicken, and that is the story of the ocean chicken. To put things into perspective, the odds of finding it are just as low as finding 4 striders stacked on top of each other. This monstrosity has a 1 in 1000 chance of spawning. But if you thought the quadruple strider is rare, wait until you see what's coming. You probably heard of the killer rabbit, a hostile version of the normal rabbit that deals an insane amount of damage. Well, now you can spawn them only with commands. But there was a time when this beast spawned naturally in the game. In the middle of 2014, there were a few snapshots that had the killer bunny. However, it was extremely rare. About 1 in 2500 rabbits became the killer, or in other words, the chance was mere 0.04%. These numbers are starting to get ridiculous. With this mob, I can understand it though, because as Jeb said, if you ever met the killer rabbit, you were as good as dead. We went over how rare the fox holding an emerald was, but that was just a normal fox. There's another type that's way more exotic and which I've personally never met in survival. I'm talking about the Arctic fox, which can only spawn in the snowy taiga biome. However, the Arctic fox itself is not enough for us. We're looking for the baby Arctic fox, which is 20 times more rare. Combine that with the fact that Arctic foxes are already incredibly hard to find, and you've got yourself a mob that deserves to be on this list. It's no secret that Java and Bedrock have their differences, but this actually works in our favor when looking for rare mobs. In Java, baby zombies can only ride chickens. On Bedrock, however, they can ride a lot more than that. Cows, wolves, pandas, and even other zombies. But I'd say the most exciting is the ocelot jockey. The chances of encountering this mob are 0.013%, or in other words, next to nothing. I also think ocelots are among the best choices for baby zombies to ride, due to their incredible running speed and small hitbox. Hey, I'm just glad these creatures don't spawn in Java. I told you how the pink sheep is the rarest sheep color there is, but theoretically that's not entirely true, because there's one sheep that's way more uncommon, and that is the baby pink sheep. Now I know what you're gonna say, but Dadusak is just a baby version of the pink sheep. Well, hear me out, because this mob is incredibly limited. On average, you'll have to go through 640 sheep before you find a pink adult. This number is put to shame when we're talking about the baby pink sheep. 1 in 12,000 sheep will spawn as a pink baby. If you wanna know the percentage, we're talking about 0.008%. That's not a lot. The aquatic update brought a lot of fish into Minecraft, and when I say a lot, I mean a couple thousand different animals. Sure, there's salmon, cod, pufferfish, but virtually all of the new fish are tropical fish. There's 22 default tropical fish skins that you will find most of the time. However, Mojang decided to spice things up, and so they made it in a way where every tropical fish has a 10% chance to have a completely random shape, pattern, fins, and color combination. For every chunk, there is a 1 in 5,000 chance of a lightning strike every second. Now, if there happens to be a creeper in that selected chunk at that very second, we will get a naturally spawned charged creeper. And if the lightning hits a pig, you'll get a zombified piglin in the overworld. The chances of finding either of these mobs are slim to none. But we've only scratched the surface of what's possible in Minecraft. There are actually two more villager types, the jungle and swamp villager, which are seemingly impossible to find, because villages cannot be generated in jungles and swamps. However, there is a way. First, a village needs to generate on the border with those biomes, but not just any ordinary village. It needs to be an abandoned village, which only 2% of them are. On top of all that, the zombie villager has to spawn riding a chicken under a roof, otherwise he will burn during the day. Then you can cure the zombie, and that is how you get the swamp and the jungle villagers. Getting a skeleton horse is a tough challenge, but what about getting the wither skeleton horseman? Currently, there is no way to get this mob. However, in the past, there was. You had to find a skeleton trap, transport it into the nether without triggering it, and only then activate it. That would replace the normal skeletons with wither skeletons, and voila, you've got yourself an incredibly rare mob. I'm kinda sad that it's no longer possible to get this guy, but that's what makes it that much more unique. Since the mushroom fields biome is one of the least common biomes in all of Minecraft, it makes the mushroom a lucky find. The mushroom, however, has a second color which is way more rare. Once again, we're gonna need the help of our friend the thunderstorm, because if a lightning strikes a normal red mushroom, it converts it into a brown one. If someone is crazy enough to try looking for it, I recommend finding a large island with a ton of cows. Otherwise, you might as well look for the Herobrine. In the Minecraft community, the Elder Guardian is a bit of a joke. It was supposed to be the third boss, but let's be honest, a real boss should not have a spawn egg. The Elder Guardian only spawns in the Ocean Monument, which, as the name suggests, usually generates in the ocean. But if you're willing to go through a couple million seeds, you might find this: a completely dry Ocean Monument with all the Guardians inside. And since they don't take suffocation damage, unlike other water creatures, they won't die or despawn. This makes the dry Elder Guardian a spectacular find, but it might as well be a normal pick compared to the mobs at the end of the video. I can confidently say that you've never heard of the Zombiekin. That's because the Zombiekin was in the game for just one small snapshot. The developers messed up the code so badly and accidentally created this monstrosity. In this specific snapshot, trying to summon a chicken jockey results in a pig and a zombie riding the same one chicken. Unfortunately, this error was fixed in the next update, which led to this mob almost being forgotten in the history of Minecraft. Earlier in the video, I mentioned how brown pandas have a 2.04% chance of spawning. Now imagine the odds of a baby husk with full diamond armor and an iron sword riding a brown panda. This is currently the rarest mob in Bedrock Edition. The chances of this beast are roughly 1 in 3.4 trillion. You have a higher chance of being struck by lightning 18 times in your life than seeing this mob naturally spawn in your world. Most people know that the Enderman can carry dirt, but he can carry a lot more than that. If the conditions are literally perfect, an Enderman carrying a pumpkin is able to spawn a snow golem by himself. The odds of this happening are 1 in 5 trillion. This mob used to be the rarest ever. Its name is this, and it was discovered by a user on Reddit. This creature is a left-handed leader baby zombie chicken jockey that can pick up items, can't break doors, has fully enchanted diamond gear, an enchanted iron sword, and only spawns in the desert during Halloween. But it's still not the rarest, actually not even close. In October of 2021, Raceworks, who's one of the smartest Minecraft players, discovered a new mob which puts the previous one to shame. This mob is also a jockey. The main difference that makes it even more limited is that this mob can only spawn from an abandoned village, and there is only a limited number of them in any given Minecraft world. It is so insane that most Minecraft worlds can't even spawn it. The odds of finding this mob are 1 followed by 97 zeros. It can barely fit on the screen.